Hey there, it's Emily from EmilyLynnFisher.com. I have been running ragged again today. You can see my plant in the background died. So I actually hurt my shoulder and my arm. I don't know if you follow me on other social media platforms, but I hurt myself quite badly and I kind of checked out for a whole week, and really it's been about 3 weeks trying to even get back to normal. I think I bounced back quite quickly, maybe, compared to other people, or maybe I took longer, who knows. But anyway, nobody watered my flowers, and I never even thought to even tell anyone to water them. I used to come out every morning and water them, and they were like big and beautiful. And I guess I always just turn the camera on and I don't know what I'm going to say, but I guess I'll talk about if you don't pay attention to things and you neglect them, that's what you get. And it would probably take me all summer to get that back to normal, if it ever goes back to normal in the first place. So let's see, we'll talk about this if you're comparing it to a relationship. If you neglect your relationship so much that it gets to be like that or dies completely, when it dies completely, there's no bringing it back. If you have a little bit of life left to it, you can still bring it back, but it's going to take a long time. Now, this, I know because I used to own a landscaping business for 12 years. I know that I can bring that back, but my first thought was I can bring it back, and my next thought was, well, I'll just get rid of it and get a new one because it's only $30. So if you can think of that in a relationship, how often do people these days think, hey, I can just get rid of that, I can just throw it away and I'll just get a new one? But if you continue to do that and you continue to get now this is such a small item, but a $30 planter, you will have paid, I don't know if the planter is like the best idea. If you think of it like a car, if you just destroy the car and then it's not even to the point where you could sell it, and then you have to buy another $45,000 car, how long can you sustain that before you've run out of energy? So in relationships, how long can you sustain that until you run out of energy? Because energy to even be in another healthy relationship, because if you've gone and failed and failed and failed and failed and you're not a good communicator and you're not even actively working to try to be a good communicator, you're gonna do the same thing in the next relationship, and then you're just throwing away plants, cars. That's what you do. You just whatever, you throw it away and you get a new one. So the dragon from Dragon's Den, if you're in Canada, or Shark from Shark Tank in the United States, Kevin O'Leary, he says you can get a new spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend, but you can't get a new business. And I used to really attach to that, and I was like, yeah, right on, Kevin O'Leary. But now I don't think that's true, because you can always go get a new business, you can always go get a new relationship. You could do both, but why not, as long as you're happy, commit to one. And if you want that to end, so say I want to sell my car, I can either run it into the ground and get nothing out of it and then start fresh again, which is expensive, exhausting. The car is going to get gross. I'm going to smell gross smells. It's going to clink and clank, and who knows if it's even going to get me to where I want to go. Or with the relationship, you can sustain and work on the relationship. And then if it's not the right one, you leave, what's the word, cordially and with grace. The same as selling a vehicle. You leave cordially and with grace, and then you talk it out. I mean, you're not going to talk to your vehicle, but you would talk to the person, and then in a perfect world, that relationship would end. The same as in business. Sometimes it doesn't have to be a great big conversation if you don't have a huge attachment to the person or the client, but what I'm trying to say is it's easy in the short term to just throw the plant away, to just burn the vehicle out, to just wreck the shit and get new shit. But how long is that a sustainable model? That's my question. And some will say, oh, it is a sustainable, you just get a new one, like Kevin O'Leary. But really, I have to disagree with that, because I think the more humane way to do it is to work it out with anything, like consistently water the plant, maybe even plan for times for it to get extra water, or watered twice a day, just in case you forget to water it for 2 days, right? So there's nothing wrong with, some people say fill your cup up, or like with this, fill it, keep it full, right? Keep the water full, and it's better to like overfill the water a little bit. But knowing this, it's like, I'll bring this back to a relationship in a minute. You don't want to drown the plant out, but it's all right sometimes to give a little bit more when you can, in case in some instance 3 days down the road it's lacking for 2 days, then it's not going to feel it as much. So the same thing goes for a relationship. Fill the relationship cup up and have it overflowing at some points, and then if you can't get to it for a week or so, like date night or whatever, then it's okay, right? Because you overfilled the cup 2 weeks ago, but you don't want to have too much of that, because there's no balance. So it's a lot. Life's a lot to just balance everything, but it doesn't have to be. So I talked to my chiropractor the other day, and he said, what did he tell me? He said it's all about simplifying. And in a lot of ways, I agree, it is about simplifying, but you have to look at it like you can still live very abundantly, and have simplicity. So with that being said, that's where the balance comes in. So you want to water the plant every day instead of neglecting it for 3 weeks. But again, my shoulder hurt. But again, if I consistently exercised and stretched the shoulder and didn't do things that I shouldn't have, I wouldn't have got hurt in the first place. And that's the truth. So everything is like, I compared it to, in a previous video, skating, just like gliding. You want to glide. You don't want to go parachuting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Some people are, and I can still say I'm guilty of this sometimes, like, rah, like revved up so much, I have go, 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 but then this is the result, a bummed up arm and a dead plant, right? So it's not a sustainable system. And sometimes you have to, unfortunately, put yourself in the situation with the bummed up arm and the dead ass plant to realize, hey, something's not working. Or you can take it from me, and then you can work to consistently have balance. So that's what today's video is about, balance, and that's the message I'll leave you with today. You can find me at EmilyLynnFisher.com. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.